We're just waiting for everything to sort of catch up on you all's end because I know it all has a little bit of a delay, but we are here for some reading sprints. It's that time of the month. What, third Tuesday of the month is when we do reading sprints over here. And so I'm very excited to read because I am already behind on my TBR for the month. Not like super behind because I ended up DNFing a book today, um, but behind enough that I'm like, we need to get in, get that reading done. And so I'm very, very excited to do that. We already have people ready to go. Pretty sure this is Lana, since I actually know you versus your like co-person over at India Chords. But thank you so much for joining us. Oh, working from home. I am always at home, but with kids, it's very hard to join reading sprints sometimes. Like, I definitely feel like I try as much as possible. Like, if I know, hey, somebody's doing reading sprints, I know I've joined a couple different reading sprints that were like after the kids went to bed, which I feel is very motivating because then it's it's good for me. Yes, it's you. That's good. Um, so yeah, reading sprints at night sometimes works a little bit better, but when I know I need to be on camera. We do it before dinner because otherwise the kids know I'm not in the bedroom. And so, yeah. But yeah, so I'm going to be starting a new book today. I actually posted a poll on Instagram because I had a book that I was supposed to be reading for my TBR game. That was like one of the books that I pulled out of my book box. And I know for a fact I had it as a book on my Kindle, like my ebooks. But when I went back and looked for it, I only had the sample for it, and it's no longer available as an ebook on Amazon at all, which is where I originally had it. So I don't know exactly what happened with that, but I wasn't willing to pay for like a hardcover copy. So what I ended up doing is posting a poll of like some of the other options that were in that same poll from the box so that I can pick one of those to read. I ended up with either Dare Mighty Things or Girl of Nightmares, which this one is the second book in the Anna Dressed in Blood. So this is like YA horror and this is YA sci-fi. And looking at the poll, it looks like Girl of Nightmares has won by 64% versus 36%. So we are going to be starting with Girl of Nightmares. This will probably be my official TBR pick now since the other book, I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if the author pulled it from ebook for a while or something, but I don't have it anymore because it was an indie one. So you never know what they have to go through for that. This one, I think it's a duology series. So if I finish this, I will finish the series, which is good because I'm very, very bad about doing that. And one thing that's very intriguing to me is I don't know if anybody remembers this, but this was a book published in like 2012. Can I even show you? The text is like a really dark red. Like it's not black. It's red. And I thought it was so cool. Like I remember some other books. Like I think like the Maggie Stiefvater Shiver series, each book had a different color. Technically, like Shiver is the cover's blue, so I think the text is blue. The second book in that series I think was green, so the text was green. And like it's still dark, so you can read it. It definitely has enough contrast going on, but I think that's interesting. Like, why don't we do that any again with books? I don't know. Yeah, and yeah, I don't even think it was a paperback copy. I think it was a hardcover copy. And so I was like, I'm very intrigued by it. It's the one, in case anybody has watched my TBR video, that was like a why choose romance. So it's, you know, the woman doesn't have to pick between like the love triangle guys and stuff like that. But it was like Wizard of Oz in space too. Like it was just so intriguing. And so I do want to definitely check it out. I took the book off my TBR like list on Goodreads, but not off my want to read list because I do want to. Yeah, no, it's red. It's like a really, really dark red. And so it's a little hard to tell, but it's definitely not black. And I remember that was like a thing that sometimes happened in like the early 2010s, that kind of stuff with books. And like, why don't we do that anymore? I don't know, but it's like a dark red. It's so cool. So yeah, that's gonna be the book we're gonna start with today at least. Because yeah, I needed to pick a new book to read for the reading sprints. Um, and yeah, YA just over 300 pages. So hopefully we can get through this pretty quick. I really liked the first book in the series, Anna Dressed in Blood. Very horror, actually. Like, I know it is YA horror, but like some of the stuff was more horrific than I was expecting, knowing it was also YA, which was a good thing. It was a good thing that it was like not trying to skirt the boundaries too much. Like it definitely went into horror. So that's what we're gonna do. And so I think it's about time that we should start some reading sprints. So, I don't know if we want to do like I usually end up starting with like 20-minute ones just because they're a little bit easier to like read a little bit, come back and check, read a little bit. So maybe we'll start with that. We'll start with like a 20-minute reading sprint. It's 5:06 here, so we'll read till about 26. I need to figure out how to do those like cool countdown timers and stuff on here, because I end up just putting a comment and then putting it on the screen. I know some people tilt it down a little bit, so hopefully I'm in here. Some people are really good at like getting those timers and stuff. Okay, I will mute myself so we can read. Okay, so we have reached 26, and so got through some of my book. Um, the chapters in this are quite long. Like I literally just got to chapter 2 at like page 30. Um, which is not my favorite, but like it went by pretty quickly, which is good. I will say it's been at least a couple years since I read the first book of this, which is Anna Dressed in Blood. And I was so confused when I first started it because the first line of this is, I think I killed a girl who looked like this once. And I was like, who are we following? What is this? The main character of both the first book and this one is like a ghost hunter, and he then explained that like he killed a ghost that looked like this girl he was on a date with. But I was just like, I was so confused when I got into it. But we started off not like action from the very beginning, but by the end of chapter 1 we had gotten into some action. So again, even though the chapter felt long, we got into it pretty quickly, which is great. um you're reading I'm assuming male paranormal hijinks with a hellhound. I have not heard of that one. You'll have to let me know if you're liking it or not, because I don't recognize that title. Listening? Is that for that one? Maybe? Maybe. Hello, hello. Yeah, deciding what to read. I had just picked up a new book for reading sprints specifically. Oh, you went potty? Good job. Daddy can help you. For reading sprints specifically, I actually my headphones don't like it when I go too long without listening to anything. But I actually made Instagram help me pick which one I wanted because of the fact that, like, I didn't know. So they picked it for me. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. And you too. Thank you. Bit of a letdown. Preferred the first one, even though book 2 is good. I think maybe it'll help that it's been so long since I read Anna Dressed in Blood because I really liked that one. I will say near the end there was one part that I didn't like, and that's just because kitty kitty. But I really really did like that one, and it's I think it's a very very good example of like YA horror specifically. And like it really doesn't pull the punches, which is good. But it's been like almost 2 years since I read that one, so I'm hoping that helps. Like I had literally have no expectations going into this book. So far, chapters are a little bit long, but the action that we got through in the first chapter was good. That book sounds amazing. I really need to look that one up because I don't know if I recognize which one that is. And actually, one of the reasons I love doing sprints with people is that I always end up with book recommendations that I want to then read. My TBR is never ending. Excuse me. Mhm. Reading a D&D player handbook. So are you actually going to be DMing that session that you talked about? Like, is that something that you're just going to be like, okay, I'm going to try and do this, or are you just going to be a player this time? Because I know I've never done it before, but DMing is a lot. Ooh, Jade City. That's one of those ones that I have heard about, and I'm semi interested, but at the same time, I know it's like very sort of epic political fantasy, I'm pretty sure, which is usually not my thing, so I'm not sure if that's something that I would really enjoy, but like I've heard really good things about it. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. Third book in a hidden species series by Louisa Masters. Ooh, authors are always good for ones that I don't recognize. Masters. Nice balance of action, humor, and steam. Okay. Yeah, no, I love the title of it. I just have never heard of it before. So like definitely something to look up. Wrangle Stone by Darren Charlton. I don't know that one either. And again, for everybody that is joining as we go through I can't speak, sprints, if there is anything about your book that you want to discuss, especially ones that I don't recognize, like I would love to know. We're just gonna be giving recs to each other in the comments, but I think that's great. Oh, there we go. You are gonna DM, okay, so you have somebody that's gonna help. That's that's good because, yeah, I don't think if I was ever gonna try D&D, I would do DMing first. Although I am currently in the process of writing the, Choose Your Own Adventure readathon stuff that everybody from the current Discord from 2 years ago, um, that, like, voted and on Instagram voted for basically reading and doing the readathon in July. So, like, I need to get on top of that, but I have quite a bit of, plot lines and decisions and stuff for people to make that I'm now programming into a choose your own adventure, and I feel like it's similar to DMing except for the fact that you're probably gonna have to, like, take people's actions and stuff into account right then and there, not have it like a preemptive thing. Reading They'll Never Catch Us by Jessica Goodman. I don't recognize any of the titles you guys are talking about right now, so I guess I'm a very bad booktuber. Here I am reading a book from 2012, and you guys are probably all reading things that are more recent. That just means I'm getting through backlist, right? Just getting through backlist. Zombie thrills combined with an achingly tender gay love story. Interesting. Sometimes the blurbs on the back are very intriguing just because of, like, how people wanna describe things. Like, I'm super intrigued. Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, choose your own adventure. And I know you guys are probably gonna do the indie Accords in July just because you usually do, but I'm planning on if I do mine in July and you do yours in July, I'm just gonna do my choose your own adventure with all indie books, you know? It's gonna work. Take all the book recs. Struggling not to slump. Yeah, I ended up rereading one of my comfort books at the very beginning of this month because I was just like at that point. And then I will say, this last week, I did the Patreon chooses my TBR, so that'll be coming out on Thursday. But I do think that helped me not slump. So you guys will see all the stuff that I read and like my ratings and stuff for that. But I had a lot of fun doing that. Like everybody's recommendations were very fun to read. So yeah, that's how this works. Everybody just has like their own book that we all then go like, what is this? Should we read this? Maybe. Ooh, Indie Summer Reading Challenge. Yeah, lots of stuff coming up. Oh, in July. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of those things where I love the Indie Accord so much, and so like I always do an exclusive TBR, but like with my readathon thing that I'm doing, and it's gonna be fantasy this year, whereas like 2 years ago it was Star Trek specifically. Like I could have just done a random sci-fi probably, but I wanted to do very specific. This is a little bit more general fantasy. But like you don't get your prompts until you go through certain choices of the readathon. So it's definitely one of those ones where you have to play it by ear, mood read a little bit more. But so I'll just end up probably exclusively doing indie books the same way I would normally do it, just because like I try to do exclusively ebooks in July or ebooks, indie books, although most of them are ebooks too, in July. So yes, I'm very excited for that. I have like a whole little notebook of like pages of like, here's the stuff that I want to do. And I have all the prompts chosen. I just now have to like actually put them in the system. And then once everything's in the system with the right checks and balances, I have to like flesh out the story a little bit more because I don't want it to be too boring. Like I wanted to have a little bit of stuff. And I will say this was something you could sort of happen the last time I did this readathon, but there are chances where you can die now. So like if you make the wrong choices in my readathon, you might face the consequences. No, I think I'm gonna do 2 weeks. Last time it was 1 week with 3 required prompts. This time I'm doing 2 weeks with 4 required prompts, but there are a couple other like optional prompts that you can do if you want. So I'm giving the time period a little bit longer, but not requiring as many things. And so there's also not going to be as many endings, but it's going to be able to branch out a little bit more in the middle for like the different choices you make that way. So far I'm liking how it's coming together. It's just now I'm in the part where I actually have to go on I use Inkle Writer, and it's like a literally like a choose your own adventure sort of software where you don't have to do the full programming by yourself, but you can like type your things in, and then they have like the if this happened, you can make it go here, and if you did not do this, you can make it go here, and so it makes it a little easier to put in those choices, and so based on the choices you make, those are the different prompts you can have. So I am having a lot of fun actually programming it right now. So, I think we can get back into reading, especially since I want to hear more about what you guys are thinking about your books. Since, again, I don't know any of these and I'm going to have to look them up later. So, first thoughts or continuing thoughts, all that kind of good stuff. So, we're at 36, almost 37. So, we'll do another. So, let's do a half hour one. Let's do a half hour one because that's a little easier for me. We'll read until 07. Give us some time to get into our books. Okay. Okay, and so we are back after the 30-minute reading sprint. I am now on page 80. So, yes, going very, very quickly through this. I will say the chapters after the first chapter are much better. Like the second chapter is only like 5 pages. So, much, much better, not as like many pages in a row. Um, I can't really get into much of this because of the fact that it is directly after Anna Dressed in Blood. But we've had a little bit more action since the first chapter, and we have some like questions of stuff because of what is happening since the first book. And I am intrigued. This is one of those cases where I feel like the first book actually could have been a really, really good standalone. So I am curious to see where this is going to go. Um, because I'm just sort of expecting YA horror. I'm not expecting necessarily too much else. Like I'm not putting expectations on my reading of it. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you could join us. I know YouTube notifications in general, like when you subscribe and whatnot, are just wacky. So, I definitely try to put the like the actual notification thing on if I know that people are gonna be doing things like this that I want to do, or like for when a lot of people that are currently on here actually right now have like videos and stuff go up. Finally found a normal book, so no more D&D planning. The Last Fallen Star by Gracie Kim. Okay, this is one I actually have heard about, but I have not read, so you'll have to let me know how that goes. Well, there we go. You're on page 7, so probably you don't know much yet at all. Almost done with a Jin Demi-Human 3 stack of manga. Manga is always a good choice, especially for reading sprints. I think last month I did like one volume of manga and then moved into like the beginning of another book. I don't know if I know that one. I feel like that sounds familiar, but I definitely don't own it at least. So again, you guys know how you guys are liking it. Feel free to let us know. Oh, sorry, it's getting to that point. I don't know. I've been tired the last few days, but nothing too crazy. So, not too bad. We got new phones recently that I'm gonna have to like transfer all of my old phone data over. But the good thing is we have saved a little phone for Presley because he is constantly on mine. Like literally at the very end of this reading sprint, he asked me to help with the phone, which is my phone. And so that is, something where now hopefully he'll just have the Wi-Fi with like kids YouTube and some little learning games, and I can have my phone back. Got it from the library. Gonna so My Love Mix-Up is the one that I actually read on camera last time, the first volume, and then I ended up reading the other 4 that I had because I picked it up during like the Barnes& and Noble buy one get one half off sale. And I only picked up the first 4, and I know there's more than that. I don't know how many more, but I freaking love that series. So I'm hoping that you're going to love it too. It is just like cute but also funny and a little bit over the top. But like the way that the actual mix up stuff happens was perfect. I wasn't expecting half of like how many mix ups there were. I thought it was just like the one main one at the very beginning. But like every volume basically has a mix up. And so it's really cute. Mm, Presley loves Blippi. I don't think I've heard of Handyman Hal. Yeah, Presley has a is an Amazon Kids tablet. But the thing is, you can't easily get like kids YouTube and stuff on there, and so he has some games, like he has some like letter games and number games, and like coloring and puzzles and stuff on there that he'll do every so often. But he's been really into watching things on YouTube that I mean, I'll actually have to see if it's on kids YouTube or if it's on the regular YouTube, um, like if he can get it on the kids' YouTube because he's been really into planets, and so he likes to watch planet videos. Like he likes to learn about all the planets and the dwarf planets and the moons and like size comparisons. He also likes number blocks a lot, which should be on the kids one, but like right now really into planets. Yeah, yeah, number blocks. I didn't even see your comment until after I started talking, but really into number blocks. And the Fixies. I don't know about that one. Um, Elliot's starting to get into some TV stuff right now just because of the fact that Presley has some stuff on. And so she's watching we love Bluey, and she also is watching some Bubble Guppies and stuff. She also loves like she's sort of in the room, so I can't like say it out loud, but she likes Peppapig, which I don't. And it's one of those ones where like Presley was liking to watch it, so that's why Presley or Elliot was starting to watch it a little bit. Um, and I hadn't seen some of the episodes in years because like it came out after I was grown up enough. But I I don't like that show just in general at all. Like I already knew I didn't. So she was mostly watching it with Nana sometimes. But the body shaming that goes on in that show got a little bit much. And so we've been trying to avoid Peppa. Um, so yeah, I mean, we love some good kid shows. I think my favorite's Bluey right now. We've watched what Disney Plus has on repeat. I'm waiting for us to get the rest of like season 3 over here, which hopefully will be later this year sometime. Just not yet. Just not yet. Okay. Oh no, same, same. I refused. Um, but it was just one of the things, like literally. So Elliot has only a few different words. Like she'll say "mama," she'll say "bye bye" and "hi" sometimes, and then she'll say like "ba" for ball and "baba" for bottle, and like that "ba" for bubbles, and then she also would say "Peppa." Like she knows how to say it, and she would ask for it out loud. It got to the point where I was like, "Did this not like?" I guess it was just like a lot of the older seasons and stuff too. Like I don't know. It's just it's one of those things where I'm like, really, was that what we need? Like they just do it so much. So yeah, Bluey is so good. Paw Patrol's good. I like Paw Patrol. Octonauts. I remember a little bit of Octonauts, but I don't think we've watched that in a while. And then we haven't watched Lion Guard. Presley is actually really into they have the Monsters at Work on Disney Plus. So that's like the TV show that's like after Monsters Inc. He watched that on repeat for like 2 weeks straight, like almost every single time he would watch the whole thing and then ask for it again. He loved that one. Oh, Pink Fong is good too. Presley hasn't been watching that as much recently, but it's definitely something. Yes. So Presley actually also has a Bluey book that has like 6 stories in it, and they're not new stories. They're just story like the episodes in a book form, and every single night for the past 2 months, we have to read at least one Bluey story during bedtime reading. We can also read other ones, but Bluey. And one of the ones that's in there is Baby Race. It's like the last one in it. And the last line, like every so often, is like, "Oh, so did Bluey ever learn to walk?" And it's like, "Yes." And it's like, "Why?" And it's like, "Well, she must have saw something she wanted, and she's walking toward mom." And like every single time I read it, I choke. Like every single time. We've read it so many times, every single time. So set in the city, I work. That's cool. Yeah, I'm like, I know it's set in Australia and everything, but that's pretty cool. I wouldn't think about that, but yeah. Yeah, Bluey is just like one of those ones that like sometimes I put it on and I do it. No, seriously, like it's not even fully the same vibe in the book as the show, but that line still gets me every single time. And I'm just like, it was her mom. She saw her in the kitchen. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure personally which one it is. Ah, Nice. Okay. It is getting close. I don't know if you heard me. I was starting to when I was explaining it. Yeah, but I think it's gonna get close to when I'm not in charge of dinner tonight, which is great, but it's gonna be time to do that soon. So I'm gonna say let's get in like one more reading sprint. And then we can, talk about it at the end as well. But before I like have to go and feed kids and bath and bed, because that's coming up soon. Elliot's laughing at Grandpa over there. She thinks you're funny. See, I want to go to Australia for the first time. I haven't been. I talked to Lana about going to Babe, but that was before, like that's this year coming up, but that was before I got pregnant with Elliot, and then I was like, plans went out the window. But I really wanted to go. We'll have to eventually. I want to go back, or not go back. I want to go. I think it'd be really fun. Okay, student ambassador. That's cool. I'm seeing I have a friend who's in college right now. And I say friend because like she's a friend now, but like she was sort of one of my students when I worked at a school, and she's on a study abroad right now in the UK. And I know it's, different than Australia and everything, but I went there, like where she is and everything, when I went on my honeymoon. And so she's doing some stuff that I was like, "Oh, I remember going there. I want to go back." So I feel like it's probably very similar. Yes. I mean, I need to do this. We just gotta figure it out. Life happened, life happened. Okay. Yeah, like I said, let's do one more reading sprint. What? Oh, Presley's talking to Nana. Pretty sure he said mom at one point, but whatever. Okay. One more reading sprint. Read until we'll do we'll do 20 minutes because that'll make sure we have enough time to talk at the end if we want to. 39. Okay, we are back. I didn't end up reading for the full time only because my husband is trying to transfer his phone to the new phone, like all the data and stuff. So he's doing stuff in the background and it's taking forever. And we just sort of got onto a little bit of like, oh, phone stuff. Who are we gonna do next? I'll probably do mine tomorrow, but we're gonna transfer my sister's phone next so that Presley can have her old one because it's like a little old SE that they did not AT&T did not want to be traded in. They are like, we don't need that one. We don't want your phone back. Um, oh yay! Yeah, India Accords. I think this will be what like the third year or something like that. Usually in July is when Lana does it, so I'm assuming that's what we're going to be doing. I have a lot of fun every single time, so I'm excited. Yep, brushing kids' teeth. Both of my kids like to try and do it themselves first. Like Elliot likes to like chew on the toothbrush, but then I come in and make sure we got it good. So definitely, yeah, I'm excited. But so I am finishing up our sprints tonight at page 114, actually. I think that's some of the most I've read in a reading sprint. And it's just because it's a 2012 YA that is very, very, very quick to read. Um, so yeah, again, liking it well enough so far. I do think I'm not liking it as much as the first one just because of the content of it, which I can't really go into here. But like the first one was like literally cast as our main character who is like a teenager because he's hunting these ghosts, but like it was something that he did with his dad previously and trying to hunt like Anna dressed in blood. Like he goes to these places to like release them because these ghosts are like killing people, like haunting people, that kind of stuff. This one is the aftermath of that first book, and so it's not quite doing the same sort of thing. Like I'm curious to see where it's going to go, but I think also book one could have just been a standalone. So if this is, we'll see how it is. Ooh, I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. Like anything that you do, I think will be great. But yeah, first year I helped with like a team. The second time I didn't, but that's because I had, a new baby and everything too. And I'm very curious just to see what you're going to do this year. Yeah, I mean, once you get into Indian self-pub stuff, like you get introduced to a whole bunch more books and everything. I think first started reading, from what I remember, indie books and stuff at like 20 end of 2015, beginning of 2016. And so yeah, just there's just like a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, your TBR is going to explode. 100% for sure. Chapter 2 of My Love Mix Up will finish before bed. Let me know what you think. However you want to, even if you just want to like put it in the Discord somewhere, just like let me know because I really, really liked the ending of volume one. So I'm just curious to see what you think because yeah, it's one of my new favorite mangas right now. Although I do need to like continue asking questions about India chords. I mean, I'm sure Lana will let you know. Trying to find a queer book from 1998, but it's over 600 on Amazon. What? What book are you trying to find? Like, I'm curious. I mean, if it's out of print, people can do whatever they want, but like, still, what book is over $600? I'm trying to think, like, would I ever justify something like that? I mean, I'm sure there's people that could. I think the most expensive book I've ever bought, besides like some like really, really pretty special editions, was the Ghost Hunt manga is out of print, like so out of print in English. And I bought all the ones that were printed in English secondhand, obviously. And some of those manga volumes, I think I bought for like over $50 a manga volume. Um, I think I spent over $400 on like 11 volumes. Is that about right? This was years ago, but Boys Like Her transfictions. I'm just like so curious. Interesting. Right? You could buy so many books with 600. Interesting. I'm seeing on my Amazon, but again, I don't know if this is the right one. Let me see. Is there a way? I've never done this before. Is there a way to like share my screen? There to do. Is this the book? This is what I found on my Amazon. And here, if this is the right one, it's like 20. But I know you're in Australia. So like, is this the book? Like, is this the cover? Because it looks interesting. But yeah, yeah, 600. I think I'm not even at 600 for the year of books yet. US, maybe. I mean, if this is something that you're really looking for, I could probably order this one and we could ship it because I'm sure my shipping to you would be way cheaper than $600. Just saying. Um, yeah, that's and this is used. Well, I mean, or this is they have a collectible one that's like 64, but like they have some even it says like 10 used ones for starting at like 10 something. Used acceptable, so it's not going to look very pretty, but yeah, they're not like crazy. Let me know. I'm sure we could figure something out easier than that if you want to, because I'm sure it's mostly, I don't know, shipping to Australia or something. Okay. Stop sharing my screen. I'm glad I figured that out at least. Okay, it's going to be dinner time for me, so I think we will end up leaving it for today. I will have more reading sprints the third Tuesday of next month as well, which according to my calendar, one, two, three, is the 20th of June. So you guys can always keep an eye out for that. Um, yeah, I don't know how people price things like that. I feel like sometimes to me it feels like you should just have to do shipping, but thank you so much everybody for joining. I had a lot of fun as well, and I definitely like joining sprints the way you guys did as well, but like hosting them is also fun. I will also just say, because a lot of you guys are people that I talk to quite often, if anybody ever wants to join me on camera for sprints, I currently do sprints every third Tuesday. Always hit me up. I'm good to like have people talk. So otherwise, I think that's gonna be it because I have to do dinner and then bath and bed for some kids. It's getting to that point in time. So again, thank you all for joining and we're going to end it for now. Bye.